So Leo, funny story. Before I go into my story, I should probably do this instead. Let me do my plugs first. I apologize. First, like, share, and subscribe to continue to get your Fae blessings. You can follow me on TikTok. I post as soon as I post when I have these up and available. TikTok gets a notification first. Sadly, I don't really post on Instagram anymore due to censorship, so you can thank Instagram and Mark Zuckerberg because he's censoring us, so you can go thank him for that. You want to make a complaint to the FCC or the FTC on that behalf, please do so by all means. Anywho, on that front, why you guys don't get alerts, you can thank him. Yeah. Anywho, aside from that, I have my Patreon page up with your rites, ritual, spell work, and casting incantations. You get 3 for the month, already posted on Patreon for your sign. I already did them. You get alternatives. I walk through how you do these rituals too. So, or the rite, what it's meant, what you're meant to learn, what you might end up learning, etc., etc. Now, I still have the full moon reading for Libra posted. Why? Because when I do the full moon reading in Scorpio, that full moon reading from Libra is still going to apply to energy that we have moved into, okay, for the next full moon reading. So make sure to go to Patreon and check that out, $35 for that. And also, if you would like to tip me for a session, you may do so down in the description box below. If you would like to book me for a private session, you may do so down in the link below. The book link and the tip link are the same one. And if you can't get a live reading with me, but you still want a reading with me, I do recorded readings, like video recorded readings for my clients. And you can just go to my schedule on my book link, schedule me for the time you want your reading delivered. And my calendar's open right now. So you can select the time you want your reading delivered by on my business hours, and there you go. It'll be a recorded live reading with me. You can do tarot, astrology, oracle, whichever you prefer. And that's why the prices are a little bit higher. So there's that. Also, let's see, am I forgetting anything? Oh, yes. You can get readings with me until Memorial Day weekend. Reason being is because I will be going on a vacation. I have a wedding coming up for one of my siblings, and I'm now in it. And so I have to also meet with new family members, current family members, and get everybody together for those 2 weeks. So I will not be back to do personal readings until June 16th. But that's why I'm saying, do you want a personal reading with me now? Get one now, because I'm going to be booked, and then I will be off and I won't be back, but you can still tip me in between that time too. So just FYI, I believe I have that set up for that. But okay, Leo, now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and look into your Fae blessing for the week. Show me, please, the Fae blessing for Leo. Clear to divine guidance. Clear to divine guidance. Oh, hang on. That's reverse. We're not going to take that. That's reverse. We're not going to take that. Jesus, Leo, you and Cancer. Me, make up your mind. What do you want? Whenever the card's like that, I'm always like that. I'm like, what do you guys want? Like, figure it out. Y'all got blessing of belief again. Okay, Leo. Okay. So it looks like we're having to relearn this. Not bad. Let me see why. Why are we having to relearn this blessing of belief? Oh, well, that was quick. Oh, I actually have yet to work with this one. This is one of my favorite Amy Brown prints, by the way. And I have worked with this one, but we're going to go ahead and read from the book on these 3 because this is kind of important. And I want to make sure I get all your messages right. See, you have 3 in reverse and you've got 3 upright. Y'all are crazy, but I love you in your own way, Leo. Okay, so let's start off with blessing of belief. All right, This has to do with restoring and strengthening your faith in the Fae again. So, okay. You're having to relearn this because this essentially is, you know what this card reminds me of? It reminds me of that whole, like, Peter Pan bit where, you know how he says every time a child says, I don't believe in fairies, and they drop down dead. Like, one drops down dead somewhere. That's what this card generally reminds me of. And when you believe in fairies, see, believing in fairies isn't just belief. It's about believing in magic, because the Fae come from pure magical intention. That's why it's easy for them to just connect with magic, because they come from a very special source of it. Just like the dragons. The dragons come from an even higher source of magic than that. But they work together because they come from a same single source. They are meant to help bridge, the Fae are meant to help bridge our world and their magic together. And unfortunately, we've been so unkind to them that they have to hide. But this right here is about renewing that beautiful energy. Because see, when we believe in fairies, it also reignites our childlike nature or our inner child. It has to do with accepting of that. And when you don't accept that and you deny it, you, in a way, cause yourself a great hunger for playfulness, for love, for delight, for joy. And it's like, when you deny that, you essentially create a void. And the Fae, it's not just about faith, okay? Like blind faith. This is about faith that comes from within, that knows, like, hey, I know this is a legit source. I can feel it. I can sense it. I can feel it energize me. And the Fae are coming in to illuminate this. This is very much like the Hermit card, because it reminds me of that. Like, this is the Hermit card of this deck, except the Hermit card is about going within to question yourself about your beliefs. This is different. This is about going within to see what you believe and who you believe and what you feel, sense, and can, you know, it kind of reminds me of like the Mummy, where she goes like, if I can taste it, I can see it, I can touch it, then it's real. Okay, great. But then guess who unlocks the Mummy from the Book of the Dead? Evie. It was an accident, but she did. And then she realized, oh, the mystical is real because it bit her in the ass. You know, Rick kept telling her, I wouldn't play with that. She did. Did she listen? No. But it's one of my favorite movies, because it's not just like, oh, spirit snaps back. You know, it's not just like that. Because it teaches us about belief. And it teaches us that, you know, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Just because we can sense it doesn't mean it's not around us. It's definitely around us. A great, this is going to sound weird, but there are psychic abilities out there that people naturally have, and some people don't. One of them is actually clear smell. Oh, there's a word for it. I actually have this. And so when I started to become more psychically awakened, but I was still like on the trenches of really diving in, I was like looking over the cliff. Like, do I even want to go over it? I'm not sure. That sense started to, for some reason, that clair developed, and it just developed on its own. And like, I was in a museum of Texan cultures in San Antonio, and a friend of mine, we were passing by this ancient indigenous site where they had on display in glass cases all of these arrowheads and pipes, like the pipes that the chieftains would smoke. And I walked to the end of the case and the last pipe, and literally as I'm about to pass it, I smell as if I had been in a room of tobacco, like someone was smoking it in the building, and like they had smoked it right there. And a friend of mine was with me, and I was like, hey, do you smell that? It smells like something's on fire. And my friend was like, yeah, I do smell that. I was like, hey, we need to go tell someone. I think something's on fire. So we go tell the personnel in the museum, and they're like, okay, let me see. And they're like, do you guys have anything to smoke? And I was like, no, I don't smoke. You know, I don't smoke anything like that. Tobacco, I can't. So we go to the case, and they can faintly smell it too, but there's no evidence that someone had smoked in the building. They go to security. They ask security to play the tape, see if anybody had walked in before us and smoked in there. Nobody. So the lady goes, I have to ask, because this has happened 2 other times in the same day. Are you two of indigenous culture? And I was like, well, I am. Why? She goes, because the same exact thing has happened to 2 other people who are descended from indigenous cultures. Which, now knowing what I know with psychic mediumship, that was my ancestors' way and the spirits' way that are connected to indigenous tribes. They were trying to get my attention. They were trying to validate everything that I was believing, but I wasn't listening yet. That happened, I want to say in 2012, a couple of years ago, 10 years ago, before I really dove deep. So I was still doing tarot at the time, but I wasn't doing mediumship or anything like that, and hadn't messed with spirit, anything like that. They were trying to get my attention. They were trying to say, hey, everything you're reading about in your downtime, it's real. But the Fae are a little bit different. See, because that example that I'm giving you is of human spiritual nature. The Fae, on the other hand, are if you're going to work with us, you got to believe in us. You got to, Leo. That's how it works with them. There's no, let me believe later. No. It's like blind faith, but it's because you know and you sense it and you feel it from them. You feel it out in nature. You ever want to connect to the Fae, go connect in nature. Now, the next card I actually have is a Blessing of Clear Foresight. Now, this one I will read from the book, because even though I have a feeling it has to do with psychic ability, I never like to assume. And I actually have not worked with this one yet. So it says, a blessing of clear foresight. The gift of knowing what is likely to come from the dimension we humans call the future. Okay, which the Fae are heavily tapped into. The Fae actually know how to tap into nonlinear time, which is future. So, okay, maybe I should give you guys a little bit of basics on psychic ability. Alright. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this, but let me do this. I have an idea. Okay. So, turn these cards over for this example. Now, when you traditionally get a reading, whether it's tarot, oracle, whatnot, blessing cards for this example, you are tapping into timelines. Now, time has a linear construct and a non-linear construct proven by theories Einstein of relativity with black holes. Black holes equal wormholes, which equal time travel. Okay? Keep up with me, Leo. This is important. Okay? So, how does that work when getting a reading in linear time? Linear time has very many different levels to it, but to sum up, every different level, there is a dimension. So, one dimension, flat. And that is essentially the darkest, lowest level of vibration we have, right? Second, 2D. Okay, this is where we're able to touch things. It's no longer flat, or it's still flat like a wall, but we can, touch, right? We feel it. That's level 2 vibration. Level 3 vibration is 3D magic and our current reality, which we live in, where it's magic, it's manifestation, and it's everything to do with cars, houses, relationships, etc., etc. Okay? 4th dimension. And 5th dimension, and anything above that, is essentially future and futuristic timelines that are changeable through frequency and vibration in linear time and non-linear time. Dream world, non-linear time. Astral plane, non-linear time. Remote viewing can be done through linear time and non-linear time. Okay? I'm putting this out there, Leo, so you understand what I'm about to talk about with this card. So when you get a reading, a 3-card reading is usually like this: past, present, future in the timeline. Now, if you've seen Loki, the TV series, you're going to understand about the sacred timeline and why it was so important that Kang was keeping it closed. Spoiler alert for anybody who didn't watch the series, click off now, because when What happened at the end happened at the end. It allowed the sacred timeline that was once wholly constructed linear to become destabilized and nonlinear through chaos. Okay, this is why Wanda exists. This is why Doctor Strange exists. This is why the Lokis exist in the Marvel Universe. I can't believe I'm explaining it like this. Okay, so this is why the Eternals exist. The Eternals existed to help with the sacred timeline of the galaxy. All right? But did they know they were all pawns in Kang's galaxy? No. So, I don't think so. Does it work like that in the etheric world and with other timelines? No, not as strict. That's where tarot readings and astrology and oracle readings come in, runes, etc. Because they take your linear time, your past, right? Your present, and your future to see what's coming through to help you determine how, when you shift from the present reality going into the future, what timeline and what dimension is the most optimal shift for you. Now, why is this important if it has to do with belief? Oh, it has everything to do with importancy, okay? I feel like I'm giving y'all a lesson on timelines here, but it's very important because if you don't believe, you will never shift your timeline. You can get all the readings you want in the world. You can look and look and look, and guess what? Until you work your frequency out, you won't shift. That prophecy won't come to pass. Now, there are times where we have prophecies that are avoidable and muted. That is possible through nonlinear time. Very true. But in most cases, there are people who have egos, and I have experienced this plenty of times working on the psychic hotlines, where people try to disprove. They come to us for psychic readings, and then they use their ego to disprove a reading. For example, I had a client who shall remain nameless. This was several years ago, but she was dating someone, asking me about him. He was really interested in her, and I was like, okay, look. He wants space, because the cards were coming up. He wanted space, and he didn't just want any space. He wanted space to sort himself out, because he was really in love with her, that he wanted to be with her. Like, really in love with her, because I got the 10 of Pentacles. And I was like, oh, he's seeing that it's a blessed reunion. Okay, so then what should she do to maintain course? And the cards were like, let him alone to go be with himself, to live with his thoughts, to see how he wants to proceed in the next month with her, okay? So she needed to let him be. So I said, okay, cards are suggesting you need to let him be right now. Let him think about all this, etc., etc. 2 weeks go by, and I get a ping on my account because somebody just couldn't leave this dude alone. She had to control it so bad that eventually he got fed up with her and left her because she was going over to his house, like pestering him. And I was like, dude, the cards told you to leave him alone. Why the hell would you go over there? And she was like, your readings are so accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so accurate. Yeah, they're accurate because I'm reading from the heart. I'm trying to help you. I don't need your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, back then, I was like, I don't need your money to survive. Like, I know my talent's good, and it's true. I'm still like that. But times weren't as difficult as they are now. You know, but even still now, I'd be like, I don't want your money. You know, like if it's going to be like that, because I don't need that stress as a reader where someone comes in with their ego to intentionally screw with a reading because they can't control it. And so this is where this fixed nature of you guys kind of comes in, because she was trying so hard to fix that outcome of what she wanted with my previous reading, which, for those of you who don't know, when you're doing psychic readings and you're trying to manifest and you were really trying to anchor down into some reality, usually through control or egoic tendencies, universe tends to bite those people back. Why? Because you're trying to control your manifestation, which never, ever works. Which is why when you try to manifest through spell casting abilities, etc., etc., in the timeline, and things pop back, it's usually meant to teach you a lesson to not control. and this is important because whatever outcome is predetermined when you get readings, like I said, sometimes they're changeable, sometimes they're not. That one was not meant to be changeable, but because what she did, it changed and he shifted. He was like, yeah, and then she was like, it's your fault. I'm like, how is it my fault? You're the one who negated the advice. I told you not to go mess with him. That ain't my fault. That's on you. Because then they try to blame us, saying that we're wrong. And it's like, no. You tried to prove the reading wrong. That's on your ego. I'm not taking that shit. Oh, hell no. Yeah. The card keeps falling. Okay. I'm going to read from the book. Here we go. So, the thing is, Leo, you need to realize that when you try to manifest future outcomes, yes, I understand you're invested, but what about the other people? What about their free will? It's time for you to focus solely on yourself, Leo, and not how others are meant to be in your timeline. Now, let's go ahead and get into the blessing of this card. A gift is given this day, friend, to you, a blessing of the fairies true. This gift is that of the long vision, the ability to see consequences of actions taken in the present, and indeed the outcome of decisions of the past, present, future, timeline. With this being of clear foresight, may you be blessed with the ability to see lasting influence of what it is you choose to do, what will be granting to the future of this world, to the children, to the ones who come after. May you understand, therefore, what would be best for you to do, not only for yourself, though it is good and right for you to think of yourself, but of what is best for those you love and those who will come after us. Oh my God, what did I just say? What in the hell did I just say? For the fairies love long and see many a human unable to contemplate beyond their own needs, and in that moment, unthinking of consequences, create a future that they do not wish to inhabit fully. With this amazing fairy gift, this enhanced ability to see future or further into dimensions of the future and for the future of others, time unfurls before you a green scroll unwritten upon, but one upon which you can see what would come. Take this blessing and use it wisely for the fae, for the human children, and for the betterment of your own precious self. Fairy blessings of the long foresight to you, friend. Now, foresight isn't always just vision, which is clairsight. It's also clear knowing, which is clairsentient. Psychic ability. I actually do have those psychic mediumship abilities I was naturally born with. And let me tell you, when you're opening up to them, is it ever really easy at any age? No. But I had to deal with them since I was a child, so I get things in my dreams prophetically. Lucky for me, sometimes it was great to see timelines in the beginning, but seeing the timeline that we're in now, I thought we had avoided, but apparently not. Things have been set into motion that now have to be undone only through playing out in certain situations. So the thing is you have these beautiful gifts. So it's like the fairies are trying to tell you, believe in yourself, you get your clear sight. But you can't use it to control others. Notice how it's the betterment of others, not just what's in it for you. And that's the thing about having clear sight that a lot of people don't talk about. And you do psychic mediumship. It's like pro-con. Pro, you know things before they happen. Con, can't really do anything for yourself without knowing the true consequences of your actions. Pro, you know the positives. Con, you also know the outcomes. So it basically neutralizes anything that comes your way, Leo. Now, the interesting card that you have here is a blessing of healing. I have pulled this card. I'm going to go ahead and read from the book on this one because it does talk about healing, but there's more specifics than just healing. This is like overall healing. So, but I'm trying to figure out why it's connecting to your psychic ability or why it's trying to come in. Maybe you're trying to heal some kind of clairsight from your past life. which that is possible. I have seen that with some clients. I've done past life readings before. Hold on. Let me see here. A blessing of, 36. I'm sorry. I just saw the 6. I swear, every time I work with these cards, the cards like to play with the numbers because it's Fae energy. Okay. A blessing of healing. The fairy gift of situation or condition being healed in a beautiful way. To you now is offered the immense fairy gift of healing. Fairies heal. They tend to care for the wounded parts of human hearts and bodies and minds. They care for animals who are unwell and delicate. They tend to plant the world, the allies of the elemental realm. Fairies and their gift of healing is yours now. Bring to them your hurts, concerns, and sorrows. They will help to heal you by sending you sweet, intense charges of energy. They will heal you by bringing to you the plants and the animals and the natural spaces and places that can bring you to a better state. Okay, so again, we're talking about shifting vibration here. There is no obligation with this energy. It is pure and safe. Oh, I like that. And fresh as spring water or wild strawberries. Let their light now shine upon you and move to whatever part of you is in most need or comfort or strength. Let the old hurts or pains and challenges be offered the gift of the fairy help and healing. Let whatever load it is that you've carried be lightened by their touch. Let there be harmony within your form. Let the healing energy that moves through all the natural world and is concentrated in abundance with the fairies and their medicine move to you and through you, leaving you relieved, soothed, healed, replenished. Let hurts fade away and let hope and healing rise again. The fairies are there to assist you, friend. Let the fairy gift of healing be yours this day. So, Leo, you've got a lot to work on this week. Not sure how I feel about that, but I feel like it is right. You've been working on this card for a month and it came back up again. And maybe you're shaky in your beliefs. Maybe you're just so hurt you don't know what to do. But I mean, you have all of these beautiful Fae gifts. And if you really want healing, like distinct healing, I already pulled your rites, rituals, incantations that come from a space of unconditional, loving, healing energy to help you ground down these Fae energies. And honestly, this deck is really going to enhance this card. I mean, it'll enhance this card too, but, you know, I don't know if you foresaw something, Leo, that was really painful, and you've been trying to avoid it, and in doing so, you've caused this ricochet of messing with others' free will. Because the last time I pulled for y'all, it was about undoing something that had been done to you or had been done unto others, and it sat with me for like a week, and I didn't understand why it came up, but now I do. Whatever you did, or whoever did what, you need to understand, you have your own beliefs, yes, but like I said, you need to focus on you. The best way to focus on you is through healing, yes. Looking through time depends on the healing, right? Because, you know, I've had people come to me on the psychic hotlines, is he going to return? Is he going to come back? You know, and I'm not saying it to like mock them. That's usually how they sound. So, you know, the younger girls, you know, they'll sound like that. But I've had men, is she going to return? Will I ever talk to her again? I've heard, believe me, I've heard it all. And the thing is there are no judgments, but that kind of healing for them to get through spaces, you know, yes or no's. Some people, yes. Some people, I unfortunately have to tell them it's not in this time. One reading, one lady was like wanting to be with her person, and I pulled an astrology oracle deck for the answer. And basically, I did the astrology math because it was like when Neptune hit Libra, which was like basically telling me that, oh, they'd be together again, but it wouldn't be for 300 years. So, AKA, not in the rest of this lifetime. Which was I double-checked that astrology math twice before I told her that, because I knew that might hurt her feelings. And I was like, so good and bad news, you will be, but it won't be until the astrology of Neptune hits Libra. And she was like, well, when is that? And I go, that's why it took me so long, because I checked the math twice, and it's 300 years from now. She was like, so not in this lifetime. And I was like, pretty much. And I told her, I said, I did it twice. I did, You know, I checked twice. This was before I had a pendulum that I worked with. So I said, I did it twice, man. I did the math twice. I did everything twice to make sure that this is accurate. And this is what I keep getting. And I'm frustrated because I was hoping it would be sooner, because I feel you two really did love each other. And she goes, but you know, I appreciate you doing that, but this enlightens me more to realize that I need to set myself free and know that when we come back into union in 300 years, it'll be the right time. And I was like, damn, that's such a great way to take this. Like, she goes, realistically, it's kind of the only way I can take it, but it takes the not knowing and the anxiety of if this person's going to come back. I can now release it to believe and heal and move on. And I was like, that is the best way to take this. You're taking this rather well, because usually if you tell clients on the hotlines that answer, oh my God, they have the biggest bitch fit I've ever seen. Believe me. And it's because they're upset because they didn't hear what they really wanted to hear about, yes, it's in the now. And, you know, that's the thing about being a reader, is we can't always give yes answers to people, because they have to learn how to gain answers for themselves in situations like that, where they need clarity, and it may not be what they like, but they're willing to do the self-work and, you know, go be happy somewhere else or with someone else. I know that sounds so harsh. You have a sign of love and romance, and I just keep getting this, like, energy of harshness to you guys, but it's the kind of truth that, Leo, I feel like you just might need to hear, you know, because you're so busy being focused on yourself and your wants and your needs. And there's nothing wrong with that, Leo, but what about the others around you? Like, how they work in your sphere of influence. Where are they happy? Where are they not? What can you do to make their lives better without you controlling it? Without you using foresight to meddle with it? Where can you use foresight to not just better your timeline, but the future timeline for everybody that is yet to incarnate, right? That's the beauty of this gift. You're being given this gift. Use it very wisely, Leo. Other than that, that's all I've really got for you guys. If you would like to leave me a tip, please do so down in the description box below. If you'd like to book me again and have a pre-recorded video session, please do so down in the description box below. And if you would like to share or subscribe, please do so, Leo, because I really do enjoy these readings. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Virgo, and I will see you when I come back for your next Fae Blessings. I love you so very much. I will talk to you later. Bye, Leo.